Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we embark on an educational journey through the fascinating world of cloud transformation, spotlighting the remarkable story of Louis Dreyfus Company. In this session, we are set to unravel the challenges they encounter, the innovation solution crafted hand-to-hand with EPAM, the technical intricacy of their seamless migration and modernization to Azure, and the tangible benefit reaped from this transformation. I'm Sabina Bonaiuti, Senior Marketing Manager at EPAM, and I will be the moderator for this section. Louis Dreyfus Company, a distinguished global merchant firm with expertise in agriculture, food processing, international shipping, and finance, face unique challenges when embracing cloud transformation. Imagine a traditional commodities giant embracing the cloud, a transformation deeply relying on precise technical strategy. Now let's meet our distinguished speaker and ready to share invaluable technical insights.
Hello, I'm Sebastien Carriere, Global Head of Technology and Group CISO at Louis Dreyfus.
Hello, my name is Andrey Audzie. I'm head of our cloud delivery for EMEA region and APAC. Nice to meet everyone.
All right, lovely to meet you both. And let's start. So to begin, can you provide an overview of the scope of the project, its duration, and key objectives that guided the migration journey?
Yeah. LDC ambition was to accelerate the cloud transformation to Microsoft Azure. We get 5 data centers on-premise that get out of life. So our goal was to migrate about 1,500 servers and database toward Azure in the smallest time as possible. That represents about 350 applications, including some mission-critical system for LDC business.
Thank you, Sebastien, for giving us an overview. It'd be great to understand a little bit more how long did the migration take and what was your key objective and goals?
That was a 1 year and a half migration with the help of EPAM and Microsoft. Our ultimate goal was to completely shut down, giving the key of our on-premise data center. It overall started in November 2021 with the creation of our Azure landing zone, and the journey is continuing through April 2022 until most probably end of Q1 2024, when the full program will be closed.
And how did EPAM formulate a cloud-native transformation strategy and help you with scalability and performance?
EPAM has been selected after through a request and analysis of the market player. EPAM has been instrumental in helping in shaping the strategy, upskilling the team, and also driving the overall industrialization process. We really created a factory that was able to migrate almost seamlessly critical applications for our on-premise environment to Microsoft Azure. So that has been instrumental to the success. Imagine that you are in the middle of a crop season where you have thousands of trucks in front of a plant. You can't have any single interruption of your business operation. And that has been possible through clear planning and preparation, and also a team that is fully competent in anticipating the migration, the issue, industrializing the move from on-premise to the cloud, and also performing hypercare jointly with us.
And what were the critical challenges that LDC faced as well, right? And it'd be good to hear how EPAM helped with this cloud transformation journey.
The first challenge will be a challenge of planning. You have 350 applications. That means 350 application owners to coordinate with. That's one of the key challenges in coordinating every single application through the journey. Almost every weekend, we were migrating a couple of servers or applications. The second big challenge will be the security. To my colleagues, I will always advise to anticipate the network aspect of the migration and the security. When you move to the cloud, you can't afford to have less security, not managing your network flow. And that's and this is a critical study to be done upfront so that you can manage seamlessly and have a more secure environment when you mount to the cloud than when you are on premise. The last challenge will be the upskilling of the team. You have a team that is extremely competent on an environment, and you have to make them as competent or even more competent, agile, and innovative when they will move to the cloud.
I'd like to reinforce for our colleagues the importance of anticipating the network aspect of such of a migration. You can't rely only on the perimeter security and network flows. So once you are moving to the cloud, if there is one advice I can give is please anticipate the network aspect, as it can be very frequently more complex than what it seems. And on that journey, the ability to monitor the flows, to identify the dependency is keys to be able to industrialize. Also, the volume of data that needs to be migrated is always a challenge. So having that anticipated is an important criteria. The last piece being take the time to anticipate your design overall, because if you start from a poor design, you will lose in terms of velocity on the way. And the fact that EPAM supported to design a clear landing zone with good standards is velocity that we gain across the journey of migration. So not asking questions when you migrate an application, that become a very standard process. Today, the key challenge now in terms of velocity for our clients is no more the hardware or the provisioning of tools, is our capacity to go as fast as what the cloud is able to provide in terms of access of technology. And that comes with upskilling, efficiency, organization, agility, DevOps, DevSecOps, continuous improvement, monitoring, optimization, should be part of the transformation. That's not only a technical project, that's a full journey and the transformation for an infrastructure department.
I would love to understand, Sebastien, from your perspective, how did you prioritize things with this project, right? Because there was so many different perspectives to look after. So it would be good to understand from your perspective, how did you manage?
We get some hard constraint in terms of renewal of on-premise services. So part of the roadmap has been planned based on the decommissioning of our assets. That's one of the first point. Then at the early stage of the project, we took the time to learn, because the first migration are not as easy as the last migration. So we took the time to learn and to improve on non-business critical application. And then based on that, we moved from our core ERP to SAP that are critical application, more complex. So we prioritize both based on the value realization. The earlier we are able to get value, the better, but also the potential impact on the business, so that we are able to gain the confidence to move to more complex environment, to more complex ERPs application. And also we have worked almost with shift of 2 times 8 hours, which means that we were migrating infrastructure over Europe, but also migrating infrastructure over Americas. So we started across Europe, and then at full speed, we were migrating both across Europe and Americas with 2 different teams in charge of migration, at least internally at LDC.
So basically, we actually used Microsoft toolset as well. We use Azure DevOps and Azure Planning for that. So there was, of course, a very big plan for the overall 1.5-year journey, which we planned as a big roadmap. However, we did it in a quite agile way based on the priorities that Sebastien already outlined. When we had the priorities defined, a set of applications defined, we could plan in advance. We had an agile sprints as best practice and per Scrum methodology, and for each sprint, we had a set of applications which we planned in advance, and we had a representative of each of the application plans in Azure DevOps. So the whole overall plan was very transparent for the whole team. It was a prerequisite steps, because it needs to be done before migrations happens, planned migration timeline and sprint, and the hypercare period post-migration to make sure that operational team can take over the applications, migrate it to cloud, can run and operate them, and there will be no business interruption. So it was a very big exercise of joint planning. However, we try to be agile and keep it as to bi-weekly sprints as possible.
Andrey, from your perspective, how EPAM supported this, right, through LDC, through their journey as well, and we were able to walk them through a more scalable and more performing company?
Absolutely. So what Sebastien already said, I think the first key factor you need to keep in mind when you enter the transformation journey like that. So it's not only technology transformation journey, it's a transformation for people and for the company and for the business. So you need to really plan and estimate properly your journey and be realistic on the timelines, roadmaps, etc. Second thing that we really help LDC in the very beginning is to help and shape what is called Cloud Center of Excellence. So LDC team actually can enable the cloud as a transformation for themselves and can then bring the cloud agenda to business, to operational team, to IT team, and the whole organization. So we shaped it over the first 4 months of the engagement and helped adopt the cloud adoption framework from Microsoft, and also helped to build and design the first landing zone in Azure itself. So we brought our accelerators, best practices, and technology skills to be able to enable the first implementation of landing zone that actually then enables the migration itself, and that is at our exit in 2022, as Sebastien already said. Also, we managed to bring the tool set together with Microsoft, like Azure Migrate tools, etc., which helped actually us to overtake some of the technical challenges, which Sebastien already mentioned. One of them was, for example, network analysis and network dependencies analysis, which was critical for security, to be able to harden the new infrastructure in cloud, new firewalls, etc., to make them even more secure than on-premise data centers, and at the same time, not to stop and block the migration because of that. So our team managed to find the very smart technical solutions to help overtake those challenges, in addition to challenges we had on the organizational change level. We also helped a lot with upskilling and helping the LDC team to become more confident and more mature and more up to speed with the cloud and technologies stand behind this. And we also support them during the hypercare periods after every migration to make sure that LDC team can always take over new applications in the cloud and to be able to run and operate without any business interruption.
Thank you. Moving to the technical aspect of things, could you please share some detail of the technology and services that were utilized during the migration?
Yes, majority of the tool set was based on the Microsoft recommended set of the tools and accelerators, like Azure Migrate. We heavily use Azure DevOps and Azure pipelines. We use Terraform as a technologies. We used Microsoft Office 365 and everything for the collaboration and joint cooperation with LDC and EPAM, and obviously Azure services as well. So we helped to shape and define the architecture of the future solution for LDC landing zones, including all the requirements covering security, compliance, data protection, also covering the new monitoring systems, observability, covering disaster recovery, backups, and everything that you need to run your business applications in a very secure and industrialized environment.
All right, thank you. Let's finally discuss the tangible benefits that LDC achieve as a result of this migration. So, Sebastien, if you can elaborate a little bit, what was the result and benefit out of it?
Ultimately, we have done the migration for hard financial benefits, representing about 9 million cost avoidance for renewing our data center. So we successfully migrated our 5 data centers. The second objective was to have access to cutting-edge technologies. That is an enabler that can be AI, that can be containers, it can be analytics capabilities. We looked at it also in the eyes of disaster recovery, having our infrastructure in the cloud facilitate our disaster recovery. And finally, overall, this migration is the catalyst for reducing our technical debt and also modernization of our application. So we start the migration usually for hard financial benefits, but the real value of it is on the digital transformation of the overall company.
How do you see the partnership with EPAM growing as well and developing LDC in the future?
Yeah, we will continue to work with EPAM in the long run. We are working on other initiatives such as automation, such as disaster recovery. So once you have a partner that is able to help you through that journey, I think that's a good ground for a longer partnership.
Well, thank you for your insights, both of you. It was a pleasure speaking to you today, and look forward to engaging discussion and sharing additional information about the LDC wonderful case studies as well and their journey in cloud transformation. If you're eager to explore how EPAM can assist you in your cloud transformation journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And thank you, Sebastien and Andrey, in sharing your insights.
Thank you, Sabina, moderating us.